Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Hide the women and children. Open carry comes to the great state of Texas. California's new law makes it legal to confiscate guns with no notice. The Virginia Attorney General voids concealed carry reciprocity with half the states. Can that action stand? Plus, more gun control is coming. What guns and gear should you buy? All that and more. To be a part of the show, call Tom at 866-825-5486. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Yes, it is coming. It is coming. I guarantee you, President Obama getting ready to unleash his mighty pen on us, you and me. Hey, welcome. I'm Tom Gresham. Glad that you could be with us today. We have a lot to talk about. When you finish listening to the show today, you will be wiser, you will be smarter, and you most certainly will be better informed. There is so much going on, and a lot of it is popping right now, this past week and this coming week. We'll be talking in just a minute about what's happening in Virginia with the Attorney General there voiding reciprocity with 25 states, so that if you're in one of those 25 states, your permit is no longer good in Virginia. But also, if you're in Virginia, your permit may not be good in most of those other states, not all. We'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. This just in, as we were going on the air, CNN to host Obama Town Hall on guns in America. President Barack Obama is mounting a final year push to make gun control part of his legacy despite Republican opposition, and the opposition of the American public, and is expected to announce unilateral action soon, i.e. going around Congress and circumventing the will of the people, which is what he really must do since he is out of step with America. He will join CNN's Anderson Cooper Thursday for an exclusive 1-hour live town hall on gun control at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. Oh, yeah, your non-resident permit won't be good there. In hopes of mounting a final pitch to the public. I love this. It said, in addition to discussing gun issues with Cooper, Obama will also take questions from the audience on the issue. What do you bet I couldn't get into that audience with a $100,000 donation? You think that'll be a hand-picked audience? You think? Here's what's going on. Obama has simply not been able to make good on his promise. He promised the gun banners, I will give you what you want. I will stomp on gun owners. I will crush this culture. Because it's not the guns. Don't ever stop saying they don't like guns. That's not it. They don't really care one way or the other. They don't like gun owners. They don't like you. They don't like your culture. They don't like your independence. They don't like your freedom. They don't like the fact that you don't depend upon them for safety. Don't ever make the mistake that they don't like guns. Guns are just a way to get to you. Understand that it's about you. They don't like you. And if you listen carefully, you will hear them address that. So, President Obama announced that when he comes back from Hawaii, his vacation in Hawaii, he will take executive action, i.e. he will go around Congress. Congress, of course, being this body that represents the people. They are our representatives in Washington, D.C. We express to them what we want, and then they supposedly, maybe, take action on it based on what we want. So when he goes around Congress, he goes around the will of the people. But he's made this promise. So he's going to meet with the Attorney General tomorrow, Monday, Loretta Lynch, to figure out what they can do. Trust me, it's all been done. This is all done. He's going to announce this is not public, but this is what I think is going to happen. He's going to, and the problem is there's only so much they can do because there are laws out there. But what he can do is administratively through the ATF, he can change the definition of being in the business of selling firearms. That's been one of those squishy areas since 1968, the 1968 Gun Control Act. What does it mean to be in the business? Because if you're in the business of selling firearms, you must have a federal firearms license. If you have a federal firearms license, as gun stores do, you're required to do the background check when you sell a gun. Now, make no mistake, they're going to talk a lot about the supposed gun show loophole. All the laws are the same inside a gun show as outside of a gun show. There is no difference. There is no exception. There is no waving of the magic wand so that when you go into a gun show, the laws don't apply. No. All state, city, local, federal laws apply in a gun show. It's exactly the same laws. If you are a licensed dealer, you must perform the background check when you sell a gun. If you are a private citizen, you are allowed to make a private sale to someone inside who lives inside your state. That is the law. Now, what could he do? He could say, I am instructing the ATF to change the regulation or the ruling or the understanding of what it means to be in the business so that if you sold more than 2 guns in a year, just to pick a number, we could say you're in the business. What they would like to get is to the universal background check, the so-called universal background check, which is only a way of making sure there's a record of everybody who owns a gun. Right now, they don't have a record like that. That's the only reason that they want it. There's a lot going on. We'll be talking a whole lot about all of this in just a minute. I'll tell you what's going on in Virginia, it's a really good sign of what has changed. The thinking has changed, the mood has changed, and the advisors are telling the politicians, yep. You can finally come out of the closet. You can finally say, yeah, we're gun banners, and we're proud of it. And that's what they're doing in Virginia. When we come back, we'll be talking with the head of the Virginia Citizens Defense League right here on Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN. What are you hearing? What are you thinking? What do you think we ought to be doing? 866-TALK-GUN.
Your guns are hungry, really hungry. They crave lead. They feast on recoil. They were born with a gluttonous appetite for speed and accuracy. Centerfire, rimfire, shotguns. They all need to eat. Let the feeding frenzy begin. Aguila Ammunition. Feed your firearm.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
A great rifle and scope won't do you any good if your mount fails. Whether it's for hunting, competition, or tactical use, Warren has a rugged, reliable scope mount for you. Warren scope mounts are the choice of top competitors and professional hunters alike. American-made quality and performance you can count on. Visit your local dealer or go to warnscopemounts.com. WARNE scopemounts.com. Set your sights on Warren.
You know how I always tell you got to get involved in your state organization, your state gun owners, gun rights organization. One of the best in the country. They've been at it for a long time. They've been incredibly effective. Is the Virginia Citizens Defense League, and Phillip Van Cleave is the head of that group. And Phillip joins us right now. Phillip, explain to people exactly what the heck just happened there with this Attorney General ruling.
All right, Tom. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's a great show. You kept me sane during the Clinton years. I can tell you that right now. You did. I depended on you to hold me together. Anyhow, what's happened here is basically what we're seeing at the federal level in a way. Our General Assembly is very pro-gun. In fact, we have an impressive majority in the House. I mean, you know, it's really something, a super majority, if you will. The Senate, we're a little weak. We only have, you know, there's only like a majority by one. But needless to say, we haven't passed any serious gun control in Virginia since 1993. We've passed lots of pro-gun reforms. We've been expanding things like reciprocity and recognition of other states. So what's happening here is we've got a governor and an attorney general that both received large campaign donations from Bloomberg. They were never on the side of gun owners, although at least the governor claims to be a gun owner. I mean, that's, you know, so you go out and buy a gun, now you can forever say you're a gun owner, I guess, even if you've got no connection whatsoever to the gun or to the community. And you did point out, too, that it's not the gun that these people don't like, it's us, and you're right. They hate our freedom and independence and liberty and moral compass that we carry as gun owners. They hate that. They hate that we would run towards sounds of gunfire rather than run away from them if it meant saving lives. They hate all that. So to pay back Bloomberg, and because he doesn't like gun owners, we've had two actions. We've had the Attorney General basically rescind reciprocity with half of America, 25 states, affecting 6 million permit holders, and also hurting all the permit holders in Virginia, including military. So many military in Virginia, people coming from other states to serve their country, now their permits are going to be worthless. Some of them can apply for Virginia permits and so forth, but why should they have to do that? So, and then the governor banned concealed carry and open carry in our state agency buildings, where we've had no problems. We've had no shootings in our state agency buildings. Permit holders don't commit crime. Yet this was an emergency action, and the way I phrased it to our members was, we've never had any shootings in our government agencies, and the governor wants to fix that by making them gun-free zones.
So let me ask you, Phillip, because you're kind of a big-picture thinker on all of this, and I try to be. I'm hearing you talking about Bloomberg's contributions, and I know you're watching what's going on around the country. I am of the opinion that Bloomberg's money by itself is the single biggest factor in the change that we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. That money is being used to subvert rights everywhere from in Pennsylvania to other places. So it's absolutely, that money is being used to subvert our freedoms.
Well, I mean, he spent all this money in Colorado. He spent all this money in Oregon, Washington. He's going state to state. And, you know, when you've got $34 billion, $38 billion, whatever he's worth now, you can go drop $1 million in a state, buy up all the advertising, and you can convince enough fence sitters of anything if you can buy that much advertising.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what is happening. It doesn't always work. He bought up a lot of advertising here in the Richmond area where I am to try to influence a key election to turn the power in the Virginia Senate over to the Democrats. And he lost that gambit. And he spent a lot of money, and he sure tried. But at the end of the day, gun control was the issue that turned it over. A county right next to mine, Powhatan, they came out in huge numbers to block this. All the gun owners showed up, and it stopped him cold.
Okay, so what's going to happen in Virginia? There must be an effort to do probably a number of things in the legislature right now as a result of this unilateral action by the Attorney General to avoid concealed carry permit holders in half the states coming into Virginia.
Oh, Absolutely. In fact, let me tell you this much. I estimate at least a third of our legislators have concealed handgun permits, maybe more. So anytime he pulls this stuff, any of this thing, it's affecting legislators as well, which I love. I wish they all had permits, honestly. It affects them, and it gets their attention. And I in fact, in Virginia, not just with legislators, although I can say it applies to them too, but gun owners in general, I've not seen people this angry probably since I've been doing this job. I have simply not seen it. The people are irate. One of the issues, the one on banning guns inside government state agencies, we had people, we told people you need to comment on this as a comment period. And in no time flat, we had 2,000 comments. Now we're over 4,000 and climbing, and they're all negative. I had to dig around to find one or two that said they supported the actions of the governor. And the Attorney General's really stepped in it. Between the two of them and Obama on top of it, gun owners, what they're seeing is subversion of our rights at the federal level. Then suddenly in Virginia, we see our governor pull something, calling it an emergency action to get this order through quickly to ban guns against people like you and me that don't commit crimes in places where there have been no crime. And that was an emergency action. You know, that's how twisted the governor is. And then the Attorney General comes in and again goes specifically after the best of the best, the most law-abiding of the law-abiding. The gun, and we've had no problem.
Phillip, but what's going to happen now? I mean, I've seen talk about we're going to strip the governor or the Attorney General of their money that's used for their protection agency, or we're going to try to undo this. What's going on in the legislature? I guess, what can gun owners in Virginia actually do about this?
Well, our General Assembly session starts on January 14th. VCDL has a bill already introduced on our behalf that would honor the permits of all states, period. That would end all of this. Now, it's got to go to the governor's desk. We understand that. But people are mad enough. We might just be able to get enough of the Democrat senators to come on board. Maybe. If we could do that, we could override the veto that's bound to be coming on that. But that would solve it right there. It would say, we just honor all permits, bam, we're done. And the other thing we're doing is, of course, we're looking at legal options on this. VCDL is going to do a huge advertising campaign starting January 11th for a month in Virginia. We've got electronic billboards that are going to be running our messages, radio stations, and a truck driving around the General Assembly with a huge banner on the back, a commercial truck with a banner aimed at all this. We're really going to open up on a public information campaign in Virginia to really put pressure on the governor. And again, there are also legal options, but it's not going to be easy because of the power the governor has. But that's no reason to roll over. It's all the more reason to pull together and fight.
This is one of those cases, Phillip, where we really do see the effects, where we talk about elections have consequences, and your governor got elected by a slim margin, as I remember.
Yeah, 2%. And, if you're ready for this, our Attorney General, out of 2.5 million votes, he won by 165 votes. Wow.
Okay, so yeah, that's what you get. I guess the carry forward on this is several things, but one is that everybody I'm talking to right now, if you're a gun owner, you absolutely not only must vote, but first of all, you have to be registered to vote. I heard, Phillip, this is several years ago. It may not still be correct, but I think it probably is. I heard a number that half the NRA members are not registered to vote. What have you guys been doing on the state side on getting people registered and getting them out?
Well, we keep pushing this issue. I keep telling people here, if you are not registered to vote, then you may as well just turn your gun in now. You need this. It's so little to ask to protect you, to do what people died face down in the mud to protect. All we got to do is get off our rear end one Tuesday in November and go down and vote. How tough is that? Would you rather switch with the guy that was bleeding to death in some ditch in Europe to try to protect our liberties here? I just don't understand that thinking. But I would want to point out something else. We're going to have Lobby Day. This is very important. If you've got any members in the Virginia area, we need to show up on January 18th. That is Monday, Martin Luther King's birthday. It's a federal holiday, but the General Assembly is in session. At 8:30 a.m. at 9th and Broad Street is where the General Assembly is in Richmond. We're going to meet there, And we're hoping to have thousands of people this year wearing our Gun Saves Live stickers, and should be everywhere. We're going to go in at 8:30, and at 11 o'clock, we're going to come back out of the building after lobbying in teams, and we've got people that will show you what to do. It's like falling out of bed. You don't have to know. If you've never done it, don't worry. People will show you exactly what to do. You're just going to work as a team. And then we're going to have a rally at 11 o'clock on the grounds at the Bell Tower. We're going to have Shaneen Allen as one of our speakers amongst some also delegates and senators. And I'm really looking forward to this. I'm hoping for a huge turnout. The governor's mansion isn't very far away from where we'll be holding this huge rally. And by the way, you can carry in Virginia in the General Assembly as long as you got a concealed handgun permit, open or concealed.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You guys have been doing it right for a long time, Philip. You're activists, and that's what it takes. If you're not an activist, you're just in the way. So everybody has to be an activist at this point. Keep us posted on what's going on, and please let me know if there's anything I can do to help, okay?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that, Tom.
All right. More information now. You can always get it at VCDL. That's for Virginia Citizens Defense League, vcdl.org. Phillip Van Cleave is the head there. Thank you, sir. I'm glad he mentioned Shaneen Allen because I wanted to bring that up. I was going to go there anyway. Shaneen Allen, of course, is the woman who lives in Pennsylvania, went into New Jersey, had a concealed carry permit, got stopped for a minor traffic violation, thought she was doing the right thing, told the officer, well, I've got my carry permit and I do have my handgun with me. He could have just let her go. The prosecutor could have said, oh, yeah, it's just a mistake. Don't worry about that. Oh, no. Slap her in jail and try to put her in prison for 3 years for making the mistake. That, my friends, is what reciprocity is all about. It's about spending 3 years of your life in jail. It's about being assaulted by a predatory prosecutor, by a district attorney who wants to run up his numbers and send a message. So when they, as they just did in Virginia, say, half the states, your permits are no longer good in Virginia, there are going to be a lot of people who do not get that message. There are going to be a lot of people who go to Virginia thinking that their permit is still good there. We could see a repeat of the Shaneen Allen debacle in Virginia. And don't make any mistake, it's not just Virginia. These anti-gun politicians are coming out of the walls, are coming out of the woodwork everywhere, and they're doing it right where you are right now. When we come back, let's talk about what Obama has up his sleeve, what he's planning, and what you're hearing. 866 Talk Gun. This is Gun Talk.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Oh, so much to cover. So very much to cover. Tell you what, before we get into the weeds on the politics, I do want to talk guns a wee bit. Made it out to do a little bit of hunting, a little quail shooting. When was that? Oh, it was New Year's Eve. Sure was. Had a good time. My son Ryan and I went out. Of course, he's the co-host of our TV shows. Had a good time. He had a new Caesar Guarini 20 gauge over and under, and I took an old Winchester Model 21 16 gauge skeet gun out. I had never hunted with it. I got it from my dad. It's been sitting in the closet. I had shot it a few times, but never hunted with it. I liked it. Now, I wish it had a little bit longer barrels. It has 26-inch barrels. That's from an era when they liked shorter barrels for open chokes, and it's choke, skeet, and skeet. But it swung great. It felt good. Trim little side-by-side 16 gauge, lots of fun. So that was a fun time out. We shot them in the morning and ate them in the evening. Cooked them that night on the grill. Little bacon wrapped around quail. What's wrong with that? Not a thing in the world. Also, he says as he leans over and picks up the new Ruger American pistol. Just announced. Just out. I have one in my little hand here, and I got to tell you, I have not had a chance to shoot it. But at this point, I can tell you, just picking it up, handling it, this is one of the best feeling semi-automatic pistols I have picked up. The grip is very slim, very trim. This one is 9mm, 17 rounds plus one in the mag, in the chamber. 17 in the mag, one in the chamber. Full size, good trigger, and pretty good, nice reset, very positive reset. As I say, have not shot it. It's got, your typical 3-dot sights. It's polymer. If you go to the Ruger website, oh, by the way, Michelle wanted me to tell y'all, check your gun store today, like right now, if you're listening to this live, because until like 5 o'clock or end of day today, end of business today, if you go to a store on a range that has the Ruger American pistol, you can shoot 5 rounds out of it for free. That's a special deal that Ruger has going. So, keep listening to Gun Talk, but drive to a local gun store. Call them and find out if they have this deal going. 5 shots free. You get a chance to shoot the Ruger American pistol. I do like this gun. I could actually see carrying the full-size gun. Concealed carry. It's slim and trim, and the grip isn't that long. I like the feel of it. I cannot wait to get it out. Oh, yeah, it also comes with the replaceable back straps, small, medium, and large on the 9. And if you get the 45, they have the medium and the large for that. Very cool. If you want more information, go to Ruger.com. But it's a very impressive pistol. Here's a question for you. Are you buying guns because of what Obama is doing? Are you buying guns in anticipation? Are you buying anything, ammo, anything? I think a lot of people are. Everywhere I go, concealed carry classes are booked weeks or months out. Stores are selling guns. People are buying guns. People who've never owned a gun are buying guns. 866-TALK-GUN. Line 3. Danny's with us, Texarkana, Texas. Hello, Danny.
Hey, Tom. First-time caller. Listen, my comment is nothing new at all, but I was going to put it. I never hear any of the talk shows host or anybody else mention it, but these last 2 major shootings that they had, California being the one and Paris being the other, of course, the gun restrictions were terrible. But I've always said that if that had a concealed carry and maybe 4, 5, 6 people in there had pistols or whatever, they would eliminate a lot of deaths.
It's a great point, Danny. I think you're exactly right. If it had been one competent person, like at San Bernardino, who had a gun, so they didn't have to wait the 4 minutes. And 4 minutes is a great response time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing the cops here. They did a great job. But it's 4 minutes. And in 4 minutes, 14 people got killed. And more than that got shot in 4 minutes. So rather than wait 4 minutes for a response time, to have to pick up the phone and call and say, somebody please bring a gun here. Because understand, that's what you're saying when you call 911, you're reporting a shooting. You're saying, would you please send someone with a gun? We'll wait and die while we are waiting till someone with a gun shows up. But Danny's point, of course, being, why wait? Why not dispatch somebody with a gun if they're in the room? Get that gun out there and start shooting back. It's amazing what happens. And there have been a lot of instances of active shooters, mass shooters being stopped by someone with a gun. The media won't tell you much about it, but it's happened a number of times. When you shoot back, they either get distracted, they focus their attention on you, which almost never happens, or they just give up, or they, in many cases, shoot themselves because it was a suicide mission in the beginning. Now, that's on the single person. Now, when we're talking about terrorists, it's a whole different thing. You basically have to shoot them down. You have to drive them to the ground and keep shooting them because if they're wiggling, they're going to try to hurt somebody. They're going to try to kill somebody. Yeah, I know. You're thinking, oh, Tom, that's going to be indefensible in court. Let's worry about that one when we get there. Right now, we got to keep him from killing people. Keep her from killing people. Are you mentally prepared to shoot a woman? Have you thought about that? I don't know what this threat's going to look like, but we certainly know that in San Bernardino, we had a woman involved. Are you prepared? Have you thought that through? And have you made a commitment to get more training or to get some training this year. I certainly hope that's on your list of New Year's resolutions, to go out and get some serious, good, thorough, multi-day self-defense gun fighting training. What's on your list? Buying guns? Getting training? Maybe start introducing other people to shooting. What is your list for your New Year's resolutions? 866-TALK-GUN.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
All right, back with you. What did you make any kind of New Year's resolutions about guns? Buying guns, getting training, introducing more people to shooting, getting involved politically. Boy, I hope you made a commitment there or continue your commitment. I want to return just for a second to what we were talking about in the first half of the hour. If you are not registered to vote, and if you don't vote, you may as well, as Phillip Van Cleave said, you may as well just turn your guns over. The Attorney General of Virginia, who just issued an edict stopping people who have concealed carry permits in 25 states. He killed reciprocity with 25 states, said you can't carry in Virginia anymore. Out of 2 million people, he got elected with a margin of less than 200 votes. Oh, my vote doesn't matter. One vote doesn't matter. Really? Your gun club, in a lot of places, a gun club's bigger than that, could have gotten this guy defeated. I'm busy on that day. Yeah, we'll vote absentee, do early voting. I like the way Phillip Van Cleave put it. He said, somebody bled to death in a muddy foxhole so that you could vote. Somebody got blown up so that you could vote. You're telling me it's inconvenient? Or I don't want to be on a list. Every time I hear that, I want to slap somebody. I don't want to buy a gun this way. I don't want to join this group. I don't want to be on a list. Really? Our founding fathers stood up and said, here are our names. And we do this knowing that they will kill us if they had the chance. And you don't want to be on a list. Well, excuse me. Let's talk to Vince on line 2. He's in Oregon. Hey, Vince.
Yes. My question is, what is the shotgun 20 gauge home defense type that you would recommend for a woman who doesn't have much strength to cock it?
Okay. Is this for your wife?
Yes.
Does she have much experience shooting at all?
Oh, yeah. She's very good with handguns.
If she's very good with handguns, why would you be wanting a shotgun?
It's the broad type, if it's an 18.5-inch barrel, it's broad, and you're sure to hit
Wait. Back up. What did you say? It's an 18.5-inch barrel. It's what?
If it's if the barrel on the home defense shotguns are 18.5 inches, the spread is a little wider, and you're sure to hit the target.
Okay, I'm going to put you down. We got a bad phone there, but here's the deal, Vince. That's not true. The length of the barrel has nothing to do with the size of the pattern. It may have 80 years ago, but it hasn't in the last 80 years. The length of the barrel has nothing to do with the size of the pattern. And even if you have an open choke, which has the widest pattern in a typical home, where how far can a bad guy be away from you? 10 feet, 15 feet? The pattern will be about the size of your hand, your open palm. You still have to shoot it. You still have to aim it. If you have a self-defense shotgun, you need sights on your shotgun because it's like shooting a rifle. But here's the thing. If she's already good with a handgun, I would say focus on a handgun for self-defense. If you want a shotgun, that's fine. Get a pump action, get one that fits her better. But here's the main thing. There is nothing intuitive about using a shotgun for self-defense, and almost everything that you think you know about it is wrong. Let me say that again. Almost everything that you think you know about using a shotgun for home defense is wrong. Quick question. You're moving through the house with your shotgun. Do you do it with the barrel pointing up or the barrel pointing down? And why? If you don't know, and there's an absolutely right answer or an absolutely wrong answer to this. If you don't know the answer and you don't know why, then you don't know enough to be competent at this. Which brings me back, once again, to training. Take a shotgun class, a self-defense with shotguns class, which means it's got to have a sling on it. If it doesn't have a sling, what are you going to do with it? When you need to put it down, you need to grab a kid, you need to pick up something, you need to open a door, you need to do something. Okay? Oh, never thought about putting a sling on a shotgun. Yeah, that's my point. I know I harp on training a lot. It's only because I see what happens when you don't have it. Quick story. I've got time for this. We're shooting first-person defender this past year. They got a guy who's supposedly trained up. And he's at the range, and he keeps turning around and sweeping the crew, the TV crew. I asked him 2 or 3 times. The instructors told him 2 or 3 times to stop it. So we did it the last time. I walked over and I said, not calmly at all, and with the appropriate F-bomb in the middle, if you turn around and point that gun at us again, I am going to punch you in the throat. It was amazing how we finally got through to him, and that didn't happen anymore. And this is somebody who's supposedly trained up. If you don't have the right kind of training, and I'm talking about multi-day training, you don't have the training you need. All right, love getting your range reports, and Gary's got one for us right now on 4. Hey, Gary, out of Oklahoma, what did you take to the range?
I took an XD Mod 2. It's was the subcompact version in 9mm.
Right. What'd you think?
And it was awesome.
It is awesome. It is a great pistol. That we're talking about the Springfield Armory XD Mod 2, which is a different version from the XD. It has, and I know people have kind of lost their minds on the internet about it. They call it grip zone, which all it means is they have textured the grip with 3 different textures, front, back, and sides. And it really makes a difference. Particularly the side part is kind of smooth, not very aggressive, so it doesn't grab your clothes, doesn't rub on them, but the front and the back are more aggressive to let you hold on to the gun. How'd it shoot for you?
It shot amazingly well. At 10 yards is what we were shooting, more or less. Didn't actually face it off, but it looked like about 10 yards. We had 5.5-inch targets, which were really pellet gun targets. My brother bought the target. He has a pellet gun. And I hit it every time, and I am by no means a marksman. I So it shot with a 3-inch barrel a lot better than I expected. I could shoot any gun. So.
That's great. Well, I will tell you, we've shot them. We've done a lot of video with them. The 3-inch barrel is really not, it's very accurate. It's just a case of if you can shoot it a little bit shorter sight radius. I find these guns shoot exceptionally well, and I think it's a great carry gun. So great. I appreciate that range report. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We're going to be talking a good bit more about the politics of what's going on here, because there's a bunch coming down. When you hear, and you will several times this week, when you hear President Obama, he already did like 2 days ago, he keeps talking about the epidemic of gun violence. This is their go-to phrase. It's like a warm blanket. It makes them feel good. They pull it around themselves and they go, oh, that's warm. That's comfortable. Epidemic of gun violence. Except that the problem with that is that gun violence is going down. Not just a little bit, but a huge amount. Violent acts with guns are half what they were 20 years ago. Murders are half what they were 20 years ago. What the devil are they talking about? Oh, that's right. They're parroting their friends in the media. And there's a website out there that supposedly counts active shooters. Now, the FBI has a very specific criteria for an active shooter. And according to the FBI, there have been 4, it's either 4 or 5 this year. But according to this internet website that the media likes to parrot, there have been almost 400. Wait a minute. When does 4 become 400? Well, when you set up a website designed to scare the public, to count things that the FBI doesn't count as active shooters, as mass shooters, and the media keeps parroting that. So as you hear, and you're going to hear this a lot this coming week, every time President Obama or somebody else says the term epidemic of gun violence, you need to think in your mind what you hear is half, down by half. Down by 50%. Epidemic of gun violence means half. We have more guns, and then they'll say, well, of course, it's only logical when you have more guns, you're going to have more crime. No. We have millions more guns, millions more gun owners, millions more people who are licensed to carry guns, and murders are down by half in only 20 years. It's illogical. It's a lie. That's what it is. And he's a liar. But he does have the pen, and as he said, he's not afraid to use it.